Hey everybody, this is Sergio with the RideShare Guy. Today I'm joined by Derek, who is a Los Angeles driver. He's my neighbor, and we do these behind the wheel series of interviews with drivers who have accomplished quite a bit in their rideshare careers. But we want to introduce these types of drivers to our audience in order for them possibly duplicate what these amazing drivers are doing and having plan Bs and working towards using the apps towards their plan Bs. Derek, welcome. Great to have you
Thank
here.
you. Thanks for having me. Absolutely. Back at you.
So tell us a little bit about your background, what you did before
Sure.
rideshare, how you got into rideshare, all that good stuff.
Sure. Sounds good. I'm from Baltimore. Moved here about 11 years ago after school. Um, and got into rideshare about 6 months ago. Um, when the pandemic happened, I was a cannabis salesperson. And when that stopped, when the pandemic came, all my business stopped. My sales, I couldn't go into the dispensaries, and the company that I was working with ended up going out of business and selling their company. So that happened. That was my history. And I have been doing rideshare for 6 months, came in as kind of just a temporary thing. It wasn't supposed to be this long, but I'm sure a lot of people listening are shaking their heads along with me. It was supposed to be temporary, but things happen.
Well,
I saw the money and I said,
yeah,
okay, I'll keep doing this.
yeah. I mean, rideshare has a way of, it has its good qualities and bad qualities, obviously, but to me, when I first started, it was addicting. It really was. I mean, you're kind of addicted to it, right? You can turn the car on and go get some cash. In what other world can you accomplish that? Imagine, going to a regular job and telling your boss, by the way, I'm just going to work 2 hours today, pay me $100. Like,
Right, exactly. Going in, making $50 an hour, coming home with 350. Not many people can do that. So I totally agree with that. So yeah.
so 6 months ago, you started as a rookie, and
Hmm.
as most rookies or newbies, we call you guys, you guys have no clue what's going on out there. It's just an app. You download some documents and you're off to the races. And, you're up to the whims of the algorithm, as we say it. And look, at this time of the game, I think the rideshare business from comparatively to what it was 5, 6 years ago or 7 years ago when I started, is totally different game. It's a different animal, right? So, what kind of car do you drive? Or I know what you do now. We're going to talk about that. But
Hmm.
how did you start your ride share? Did you have your car or did you rent a car? What did you do?
Sure. I had a 2009 Ford Escape, 20 miles per gallon. Um, I had a friend that was doing Tesla rental through Hertz. So I decided to do that instead of use my car with that had 115,000 miles on it. So I rented from Hertz. So in the beginning, as you mentioned, I was addicted to it. I was enjoying driving people around. I was happy to talk with people. Now I just have my earphone in. I'm just cruising.
Yeah.
So I'm not a rookie anymore. But so I rented through Tesla, um, made that money, and I think 3 months into it, I realized that renting is probably not the best idea if I'm going to continue to do it. So I got a plan in my head about halfway through saying, I could probably just own one. So at that 3 month period, I started saving up for the down payment, for the first payment, and for insurance. And I was just able to do that like a few weeks ago. Went into the Tesla dealership, pulled the trigger, got 3 months free. With my income, I was able to get $7,500 back from the state of California, which is what they don't mention that
Yeah.
it's 2,000, but up to 7,500
Right.
plus the $7,500 tax credit. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like a no-brainer. I do understand why people do Tesla. It's owning a car is not easy, but I pulled the trigger, and today I returned my last Tesla to Hertz. Um, it was in and out because a lot of other drivers are stopping the Tesla rental through Hertz because of the price increase. It's even $100 more per week now.
Yeah.
So they raised insurance from like
Yeah. We talked quite a
9
bit
to
about that.
15.
Yeah, we
Right.
talked quite a bit about that on our channel about if Tesla rental through Hertz just doing Uber is financially feasible, because we decided that with charging, it's going to come up to $100 now. I mean, $500 a week. And now it's more, as you correctly stated, right? And with the bump up in the insurance provision that they have, probably it's like another 60, $80, right? So, $500 a week, let's say on average, times four, it's $2,000, right? I know you can get in and buy a Tesla with a loan, and probably have less than $1,000 or $800 a month payment on it. Let's say a 5-year loan, but with credit on it. So let's talk a little bit about that. So how was your Tesla rental experience though? Was it smooth, or was it in and out? And I don't like the roll of the eye over there.
At first, I didn't realize I made the reservation. I went in like most people thinking, oh, I reserved the car. There was 10, 15 people waiting. I waited. They told me, no, we don't have any more Teslas. So I went back. They told me you got to come in the morning. Even though you had a reservation, I came back, got the car, was happy with it. Then I needed to go back. Every time I needed to go back to the Hertz location, it was like a nightmare for me. So I kept the car just so I didn't have to deal with these people. I'm actually more happy that I don't have to deal with these Hertz people than my new car. So yeah, it was pretty awful. And recently they just charged me for the car rental and put an additional hold on my account of $500. So I had $1,000 at one point in their hands when they really should have only had half of that. So there's nothing I could have done about it. Making calls, it's you're running in circles. So my Hertz experience was horrendous. If you have to do it, I recommend it. I mean, if you're new to LA, this is like a hack. This is a way to get in, make your money, pay your rent. You can really make some good money if you hustle, put money, 12 hours in every day for a month. I figure you can make, 5,000 or more, right? Maybe 10, 20, 10 to around 10 if you do it. But that's stressful and too much work. So you gotta limit yourself, but it's there if you want it. But my experience was awful, and I'm glad to be done with that.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Like for the 6 months that you rented, right? That's a long
Mm-hmm.
time. So were you in the exact same car that you picked up?
No. I mean, a couple, I had to return it for various reasons. Maintenance, the windshield chipped, a rock hit the windshield. Somebody ran into me at the Santa Monica Pier, putting my account on hold for 10 days during St. Patrick's weekend.
Yeah.
So I lost out on a lot from that. But no, I did not have the same car. I would say in 6 months, I'd say 10 different cars around.
10?
10, yeah, I would say.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So you were
Yeah.
flipping cars like underwear. That's like
Oh
that's
yeah, man. I wanted the fresh one. I wanted the one with least miles. I actually got a brand new one at one point with like 10 miles. I had to take all the stickers off myself, all the paneling, all the extra stickers, that the protective sticker. They made me do that. So,
yeah.
I mean, they also make me wash my car and vacuum it when I bring it back. No other rental place does that. So,
So much for service, right? So it's like
oh yeah,
um
great service. Thanks,
yeah,
Hertz.
but from what I heard you say that the first time you went to pick it up, they didn't have cars, although you had a reservation, right? So does it looks like there is tremendous amount of demand for these things, for rental Teslas to do rideshare.
I agree there was a lot of demand, and I still think it's a good idea if you're looking for some quick cash. But for the long term, it's difficult. And I did return a bunch of cars, but yeah.
So for those 6 months you're renting, right? What would you
Mhm.
say your average drive time was per week, and let's say your gross amount? Or, we know,
I
let's say the
yeah.
rental is 500, let's deduct the 500. What do you think you average for
Okay.
those 6 months?
Yeah, I was driving anywhere from 40 to 50, sometimes more, but I would say mid 40s. Making at the beginning, I was making 2,200. And so that's what 1,700 minus the 500.
Yeah,
And that was a good week.
yeah,
But now it's a little bit down. I have to put more hours in my online and active time. There's such a big difference. Might have been the time of year that I started. I'm not too sure. That's why I
yeah.
watch you guys to get the up to date info.
Yeah, we have some tips and tricks when it comes to that. But
Yes, you
so
do.
1,700 to 2,000 for 6 months average is pretty good, right? A week. I
Yeah.
mean, in what other world you're going to get that? You're just not going to do it, and you don't worry about miles on your car. You don't worry about any of that, right? So that 6 months ended halfway through, as you said. You had a plan, and the plan was to buy your own Tesla because 2,000 a week now is probably 2,200. I mean, to 2,200 a month now
It
is
is.
if my thing was that when we did the analysis, if you do rent a Tesla, for any viewer out there, you are automatically going to become a full-time driver, meaning you got to put in 50, 60, and if you want to make more, 70 hours a week. And as we know, 12 hours on the app, right? It's times, if you're going to drive every single day, which is humanly impossible, really. That's 84 hours. I mean, that's a lot of hours, but you will make the money. So when you first grabbed it, the last question about the rental part is, were you just like willy-nilly accepting everything and then just going your way? Or were you from the first day you had watched us and you were a cherry picker a little bit?
No, no, I discovered you guys like 2 months into it. I kind of had my own strategy. And when I logged in and saw you guys, I was like, okay, I'm doing a lot of things right. But at first I was just taking trips all around the city, didn't know what time, sitting in traffic. I was like, this traffic shit is, we're in LA, by the way.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this traffic is insane. So you got to kind of base your schedule around where traffic is, go against it.
yeah,
There are ways to do it. So I figured it out over time. Cherry pick for sure. I was doing that before I even knew that you guys called it cherry picking.
yeah,
So I just didn't know how it affected me in the app, whether I declined, they stopped giving me rides. I'm still not sure.
yeah,
But yeah, no, you got to have your own strategy.
yeah.
Got to have it.
So,
You can't
well,
just
you've
accept
spoken like a
everything.
veteran. I mean, we always say the three P's, right? Patience, position, and planning. If you do those three P's, automatic, I guarantee everybody, automatic 10 to 15% increase without doing anything else, right?
Sure.
And so let's fast forward now. Now,
Mhm.
I know it's a special day, like tomorrow is your first day as a Tesla owner. What'd you buy? Did you buy the Tesla Model 3 or which one?
I bought the three. Yeah, I bought the three. I got a car that was in inventory, so I even got $2,000 off. I got the basic white one. Got my mats on Amazon for $100. I just wanted to get in as cheap as I could. Sure, I like the red color, but I'm not going to pay 2 grand for a color.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I really like the car. I'm not going to say I love it because I don't want to say I love a material thing, but I really like the car. It has a lot of great features. I'm able to get comfort electric trips, comfort trips. That helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But just the comfort of the seat, like, being able to drive that for hours a day and not have any body pain is, a
Yeah.
good reason why I got it, plus the price.
Yeah. And you still have the EV credit through Uber. And now, as I know I spoke to you before, you're going to get on Lyft, and then they have an EV credit in California, which is quite considerable per week. It's $150 for 50 trips. So basically, if you just did Lyft, it's $600 a month plus the trips, right? It's going to pay for the car. Now, is it the extended range or is it dual motor? Which model is it? Just regular basic?
Basic, 272 miles, but I do have 3 months of free supercharging.
Free supercharging. That's awesome. So, the other question for a lot of viewers that would want to know is, you just moved to LA, right? 6 months ago, and well, let's give or take a year ago. When you didn't lease, obviously, you have a loan on the car, or you have how many? It's like 5-year loan. Is that what you took out?
Yeah, 5 or 6 for
Yeah.
around 6 to 700 a month plus
Okay.
insurance.
Yeah. So, did you go? I mean, I don't know your income situation, but obviously you didn't take the rental income into consideration when you were applying for the loan, or did the banks accept that income as income for you to be able to get this loan?
No, they accept. I have, just a little disclaimer. I do have good credit.
Okay.
It's pretty decent. I think that was a good reason why I was able to do it. But my income, I guess, was good enough for them to do it. They gave me a rate that was low at first,
Yeah.
like around 5%. And then when the loan came in, it went up to 7%. So,
Right.
I agreed for that interest. And, it's still either way, it's saving me over $1,000 minimum doing
Minimum.
this switch
Yeah,
a
I
month.
agree 100%. So you got your Tesla, and today, yesterday, you
Mhm.
said, or today is your first day as a
Today,
full-time driver.
today's
Did you
my
go
first
out?
day. Not yet, not yet. I'm doing this interview with you, and then right after I'm gonna go out, get ready, and go against traffic to Santa Monica.
Yeah, you learned that part really fast, don't you? In LA,
Oh
when
yeah, yeah.
when you're stuck in traffic, you go on a mile in 45 minutes, you go, I'm not doing this.
I saw
Uh,
a trip a couple days ago for an hour and a half for $31 sitting in traffic.
oh my God, yeah. Yeah, those are killers,
No
man.
thanks.
Those that you know what happens is that's why I call the three P's, right? If you didn't position yourself correctly, literally one of those trips will absolutely kill your day. I mean, mentally you're screwed up, physically you're tired, you're cussing yourself saying, why did I do this? Why did I do this? Right? Because to us, that's the most important thing. You got to have a good mental attitude when you're
And
driving.
and as you always say, someone picked up that ride.
Yeah,
So
that
it
was you.
wasn't me. It was not me.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So you got your Tesla, you're out there. You're gonna do a ride share obviously with it, and then you like the money, and look, it's not all bad out there, people. All we hear is complaining. Okay, I get it, it's bad, but then we have two circles in our lives. When this is like one of our dear viewers taught me this not too long ago. He said you have circle of influence and circle of control. The circle of influence is what you can influence, what you can do, meaning don't take garbage trips, decline garbage, know your worth, all these things. This is in your control. But what Uber pays you, what Uber does is definitely not in your control. So when they zig, you guys have to zag. And obviously, Derek has learned that quite well. And so, what is the plan here? Are you going to continue doing full time rideshare or what's happening?
For now, I am going to be doing full-time rideshare. I have the free supercharging. I'm going to take full advantage of that. But my end goal is to do this on the weekends. I just started a cannabis business with my best friend and business partner. We have a license, and I'm investing money that I make into that. As much as it's cost to live in LA, I still need more.
Yeah.
So I'm using that money. Hopefully, the business takes off soon and I'm able to just do weekends. That's my plan. No matter how long this or how well this business does, any time on the weekend, extra income, an extra grand per weekend, I'm happy with that and I'm sticking to it. And that's how I'm just going to keep stacking, keep getting ahead.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing, amazing plan. And
Thank
we
you.
always say, as I said at the start, you got to use these apps. This is not a full-time gig. This is not a full-time job. You got to use these apps as a stepping stone towards your plan B. Don't get stuck in this rut. I say it all the time. If you're not making
Hmm.
money, stop doing it. I know it's easy for me to say behind the cameras or in front of the cameras mostly. All I'm telling you is you have to do it with a plan for your future, right? And a lot of rideshare drivers don't save money. Doc, look, a lot of rideshare drivers, like you did, you drove for 6 months, you hit it hard, you had a plan. One, you accomplished that plan. You just bought your car. Today is your first day driving. You have another plan. Your second plan is to get back into your industry, which you were successful at before the pandemic. Well, there's your plan. Now he's going to go out on the weekends, hit it hard, hard. And I mean hard, like 12 hours a day. He's going to grind and hit it hard, make his 12, 1500 bucks if he can, and then invest in his business. And then this is exactly why gig economy is so important. I mean, do you agree with that? I think it's
Oh
one.
yeah. I mean, especially in this country, capitalism is key. And I've always wanted to be a business owner. And I'm sure a lot of you out there also want to be a business owner, but you have to take that risk. And it is a big risk. And sure, I'm nervous, but I'm also excited about it. And I know putting in the time pays off, although it could take time. Like my plan has taken time, but I'm here now. And you just have to put in that work and it will pay off. You might have to make some sacrifices, stop going out as much, stop eating out, taking your lunch to work, as I've been doing for months now. Taking my little igloo lunchbox with me instead of paying $10 or more at Trader Joe's or getting a burger somewhere.
Yep.
It just, that little bit helps, making those little changes and being committed to a goal, not just running in circles. Happy with what you make. That's great. I really think it's great. And I don't blame anybody for doing that, but taking a risk and having a plan and a next step, a plan B, as you say, it's pretty important to for your happiness, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know your Tesla has all these cameras and stuff like that. Did you get a dash cam? Please get one. If you're going to drive 35 hours a week, please get one.
I'm so hesitant to it, actually. I really am. Even after you told me that about the deal with the $20 a month, I'm just a bit hesitant.
Well, if you're going to drive at nights and you want to make money, you're going to hang out around Santa
do.
Monica. There's going to be a lot of drunks in your car. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't care. Obviously we have a deal with Display Ride, but we don't get money out of it, right?
Sure.
We mention it and then we have a mutual relationship. For $20 a month, it is definitely worth your safety, number one, and it will stop a lot of headaches for you. Okay. But that's going to be your call. So I wish I had interviewed you tomorrow.
Why is that? Oh, after my first day?
Yeah, after your first day. Let's see if you hit it. If in a rental, your like ideology is a little different. Like, I don't care if I hit a pothole. Oh, I don't care if that happens, right? You know what I'm saying? LA, you got to watch those potholes, especially after the rain.
I definitely drove it like a rental. That's for sure.
Yeah. So now you just kind of, when somebody gets in the car, first of all, a lot of passengers don't know how to open a Model 3's door, right? So
my arms are long enough to reach back and help them with it. And I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. So, but then now you own it, right? Now you got to drive it like you own it instead of you got to drive it like you own it.
I do drive it as I own it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the plans are, set, right? You're going to go out drive. You're going to hit it hard on the weekends. You're going to spend time building your business with your buddy, in the cannabis world. And, we have a couple of minutes remaining. So if there is anything you want to tell our viewers, floor is yours.
Sure.
You know what? Congrats. My hat's off to you.
Thank you. Back at you as well.
We're definitely going to keep in touch, by the way. This is not the last time we're seeing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's do that test that Chris did in Chicago. Hey, Chris, by the way, big fan of you guys. Yeah. And I'm absolutely down to meet up and show everyone else what's going on in LA, and probably that it's exactly the same as Chicago. But the name of the company, the cannabis company, is Good Company. And we'll be in dispensaries near you in Los Angeles and California mid-September and beyond. Other than that, happy driving to everybody, and keep watching these guys. I really gained a lot of insight from them. And little things on the app that I don't know about, that I wouldn't be able to know without you guys. I do know now, and I'm glad I have a contact now that can help me navigate to being a new Lyft driver. So that's a whole new thing for me, and I'm happy to have contacts now in the rideshare world.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You own the car. Now you're not stuck with just Uber. You can do anything you want. You can do Lyft, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever you want. So now you have the freedom. Actually, I think ownership of a Tesla for rideshare as a side gig or even a 30, 40-hour basis is a great idea. Rental? No. From me. I mean, that's my opinion. People like it, people don't like it. Hey, here's a guy that rented for 6 months, flipped the car 10 times. Okay. I'm like, what else is there to say?
I would say, rent's really high here. If you're temporary looking for something, try to keep it temporary. Let me tell you, the line at Hertz, it's a lot less now. There's nobody waiting because a lot of these people are not doing it anymore because of they keep increasing the rates. So, if you're still doing it, good for you. Keep doing what you have to do. I don't blame anybody for doing what they have to do. I would just recommend, thinking in the future just a little bit. That's all. That's
Yeah.
all. That's my only recommendation.
Yeah. Well, here's Derek, I mean, he accomplished his first goal. Now he's on to his bigger goal of being a business owner. And congrats, man. I mean, I'm
Thank you
definitely
so
going to do a
much.
follow-up on you probably in a few months to see how this thing is going. And I cannot thank you enough for joining me for the interview today. And please keep in
Absolutely.
touch. And most importantly, be safe out there.
Thanks. And hopefully by our next meeting, someone hasn't thrown up in my car.
Only positive thoughts, Derek.
True that. No one's going to throw up in my car.
There you go.